Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. I would like to call the meeting to order. In accordance with provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, the Audubon Board of Education transmitted notice of this video conferencing meeting scheduled at 7 p.m. to the Retrospect newspaper and the Borough Clerk, and by postings on the Audubon Public School District website and at the Main and the Pine Street entrance of the junior senior high school. If we could do the flag salute. For the flag salute.
The flag.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Under number 3, we have the Board of Election results that was held the election on Tuesday, November 3rd. And at this time, we're going to administer the oath of the office to the 3 individuals that were elected for the 3-year term. And they are Christopher Prue, Joseph Miller, and Everett Ed Simpson. So the first one we'll do with Mr. Prue. And Mr. Prue has a copy of the oath of office in front of him. Okay. So I'm just going to ask Mr. Prue if he could read the oath of office or take the oath of office right now. If you feel like you would like to raise your right hand, you may do so.
That's, yeah. I, Christopher Prue, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. So help me God. The second statement, I, Christopher Prue, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of Board of Education and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A 12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Prue.
Thank you.
Next, we have Joseph Miller.
Thank you. I, Joseph Miller, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to do the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Joseph Miller, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of Board of Education and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1 and not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A 12-1, and that I was faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office accordingly to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
And now we have Mr. Ed Simpson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I, Everett Simpson, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a school board education, and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1, am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense as listed in the New Jersey statutes annotated 18A:12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Congratulations to the 3 new board members.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
And welcome.
Yes. Okay, at this time, I am going to do roll call. Mr. Blumenstein,
Here.
Mrs. Cox,
Here.
Mr. Gilmore,
Here.
Mrs. Davis,
Here.
Mr. Ryan,
Here.
Mrs. Butrica, Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Prue. I know he's here. Mr. Prue.
He's muted. There he
Here.
goes.
I'm muted, sorry.
Okay. And Mr. Simpson,
Here.
Mrs. Shivo.
Here.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the reorganization of the board. So at this time, I'd like to call for nominations of the office of president of the board.
I nominate James Blumenstein.
Second.
Any other nominations while the floor is open? Okay, could I have a motion to close the nominations?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, I'm going to do roll call to appoint Mr. Blumenstein as president of the board. Mrs. Butrica,
Yes.
Mrs. Cox,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Prue,
Yes.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Mrs. Shivo,
Yes.
Mr. Simpson,
Yes.
Mr. Blumenstein.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations, Mr. Blumenstein. I declare as board president, and I will hand over the meeting to you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone for the nomination and the supporting votes. Moving on to office of the vice president, may I please have a nomination for the office of vice president?
I nominate
like-
Amy Davis.
Second. Are there any other nominations? May I please have a motion to close nominations for the office of vice president?
Motion.
to close the nominations.
Second. Roll call, please. Mrs. Roncase.
Mrs. Cox,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Prue,
Yes.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Mrs. Shivo,
Yes.
Mr. Simpson,
Yes.
Mrs. Butrica,
Yes.
Mr. Blumenstein.
Yes.
Okay, I declare that Mrs. Davis is vice president. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations, you two.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Another good year.
Yep. So before we move on, I just want to thank everyone. I know I speak for Amy, choosing the two of us to lead everyone again. We're looking forward to, the year, and there's quite a few things that we still need to accomplish. But I think most importantly, continue to build upon the progress that we've made over the last few years. So we're heading in a good direction, and we look forward to continue to work together to make sure that continues. Next, could I please have a motion to approve the board meeting dates from January 21 through January 5th, 2022. Meetings will begin as noted with the executive closed session at 6:30, followed by the action meeting beginning at 7, with the exception of the reorganization meeting, similar to tonight, would start at 7 o'clock. The board meeting dates are attached. May I please have a motion to approve those dates?
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we have 2 motion items or 2 action items under governance. The first is to ensure that we are in compliance with the Ethics Act. And the second is to approve Robert's Rule of Order as the basis for conduct at our meetings. Are there any questions regarding either of those items? May I please have a motion to approve items 1 and 2 under governance?
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Prue,
Yes.
Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan? I think you're muted.
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
was. Yes.
Thank you. Mrs. Shivo,
Yes.
Mr. Simpson,
Yes.
Mrs. Butricka,
Yes.
Mrs. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Blumenstein,
Yes.
passed.
Okay, no items for operations, education, or human resources. We will now open up the meeting to public participation. We welcome participation of interested organizations and individuals and have scheduled this time as the appropriate time for the public to speak. Our policy regarding public participation has been updated. We'll make sure that for the next meeting, that this text will reflect the update for our public conversation. I don't remember the exact details, but I believe public discussion now can be limited to a topic of 30 minutes. Individual speakers are limited to 3. And at any given time, we can extend that time by increments of 15 minutes following Robert's Rules of Orders. You can reference our bylaws in our policy manual, and we'll open it up to the public. If anybody has a comment, please use the raise your hand function in Zoom, and you will be recognized and unmuted, or you can send an email to our board secretary, Mrs. Roncase, at droncase@audubonpublicschools.org. That email is on the screen now. Mrs. Roncase, have you received any emails prior to the meeting or during?
Okay, I do not have any emails.
Okay. Seeing no one's hand raised, we will close public participation. May I please have a motion to close that?
Excuse me, I apologize. I can't find the raise the hand button on this with the shared screen, but I would like to say something.
Sure, Mrs. Lipsky. I apologize for that. Go ahead.
And I apologize. Usually I'm a little more tech savvy on Zoom, but it's acting a little wonky with me this morning.
No problem. If you could just state your name and that you're, you don't have to give your full address, but that you're where you're a resident of.
Yes. My name is Allison Lipsky, and I'm a resident on Oakland Avenue in Audubon. And
Thank you. Go ahead.
was this for participation in regards to, we could make any comments about any of the issues that we see forthcoming?
Yes, you can make a public comment regarding anything regarding the district.
Okay, thank you so much. I would just like to comment that, one, the remote education that we have seen from the start of this school year in September, I feel has been excellent. The only issue that I've ever had is when, for a period of 2 weeks in November, it went to a hybrid model because, and I recognize that people have various reasons for why they want the hybrid model to happen, even in the height of COVID and various peaks. But the issue I had was the lack of any teacher instruction for any of these special subjects, which include the computers and technology, library, health, Spanish, I believe social studies, science, although both of those have been kind of remiss, but those are considered kind of specials at this time. And that for the students that were in the all remote purple cohort, they had absolutely no teacher interaction for specials. That apparently was not the same for hybrid students. And it harkened back to when we really didn't have much structure because it was an emergency situation back in the spring of 2020 when things were just closed down very quickly and we were scrambling and there was no real teacher interaction for anything. And my child did not do well during that period of time. With remote education as it stands now in an all remote setting, my child is thriving. She has that teacher interaction. And as I said, I think that it's excellent. To go backwards and to do that only for all remote students who, you know, their parents are choosing for safety reasons and others to not have them do a hybrid model seems particularly egregious. And just that the district is not owning up to its responsibility of educating those children. And I yield my time.
Thank you for your comment. I will remind you and everyone that the public comment section is not meant for question and answer. I will give Dr. Davis an opportunity to respond if he would like, but I would encourage you to follow up with him after the meeting as well and give you an opportunity to speak more about that with him and or the building principal. Dr. Davis, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I just want to thank Mrs. Lipsy for reaching out. She actually reached out earlier. She reached out to me yesterday, and then also we shared some emails today. Brought some things to my attention I was not aware of. So we'll be addressing some of her concerns, and we'll continue to have dialogue. You know, the special areas as well as other content areas are important. They're part of the standards, and we will continue to make sure all of our students within that hybrid model, green, gold, blue, and or purple, get the instruction that they need, and that interaction with teachers is important. So I thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Great. And we'll make sure it gets on the agenda for the education committee as well and follow up on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other comments from those in the public? If for some reason you're not able to raise your hand, you could unmute yourself to be recognized. Okay. Seeing no comments, may I please have a motion to close public participation?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, may I please have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, our next meeting will be next Wednesday for a board retreat beginning at 6 o'clock. And then our regular board meeting, monthly meeting will be the following Wednesday, scheduled for 6:30. See everybody then.
Thank you.
Good night.
Everyone.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Good night.